What's up guys, I'm Noah Cooper with Athletic Body Systems. Today we're talking about arm training. I've got 5 tips to give you guys on how to get bigger arms. Let's go ahead and get into it. The first tip I'm going to give you guys is to not neglect your compound movements, but also not be over-reliant on them. Compound movements are going to be where you're going to build the most of your muscle and strength. They should make up the majority of your training program. I'm a big believer in using things like weighted chin-ups to build your biceps and close grip benching to build your triceps. These are phenomenal exercises, and you're going to be able to develop your entire upper body with these 2 exercises, not just your arms. I think if you can get really strong at these 2 exercises, you're going to see a lot of growth throughout your entire upper body. That's why compound movements are so great, because they can give you a lot with just like a couple exercises. However, I don't want you guys to be skipping out on your isolations. I don't want you to get stuck in a minimalist mindset of thinking, well, these weighted chin-ups are going to work my biceps as well, so I don't really need curls. I think that's a big mistake. I think you should combine the compounds and isolation exercises so that you can really get that growth that you're after. Doing curls is going to help you really target those biceps. Doing things like push downs and extensions for your triceps is really going to help you target those as well. So you need to implement the 2 together to have a complete arm training program. Next tip I'm going to give you guys is to pick 2 exercises for biceps and 2 for triceps. This would be a really good starting point for most people. I think for most people this is just going to be really practical because you don't have to do a whole lot of exercises, you don't have to be in the gym as long, and you don't have to hammer your arms with a bunch of volume that you really don't need. I think sometimes less is more, in that by focusing your efforts into a smaller handful of exercises, maybe a couple of curl variations and then like a tricep push down, a tricep extension, you're going to be able to really get a lot out of those 2 exercises, and you're going to save a lot of energy. And if you really hammer those exercises hard, I think that's going to be more than enough for you to grow. Tip number 3 that I'm going to give you guys is to not sweat the small stuff. Don't worry about the small details. A lot of people, when they first get into lifting, myself included, so don't feel too bad, will kind of be like, okay, I've got to pick an exercise to get that bicep peak. I got to do something for the width of my bicep. I got to get the thickness here. I've got to focus on every head of the tricep. Don't worry about all that crap. More than likely, if you're doing like I said earlier and you're hitting 2 exercise variations for your biceps and triceps, you're going to be able to hit all of those small details without having to really try to. Those things are going to work themselves out, okay? It doesn't really matter which exercises you pick. You could do an easy bar curl, you could do dumbbell curls, incline curls, you could do tricep push downs with a rope or with a straight bar. It doesn't really matter. As long as you're hitting those movement patterns and you're really focusing and trying to go as hard as you can, and you're getting stronger there, you're gonna see a lot of growth. You're not gonna have to worry about those smaller details. Those details will work themselves out. You just gotta be patient, and you gotta attack the exercises that you're doing, whatever they may be. Tip number 4 is gonna be to make sure that you're using good form. Can't tell you how many times I've seen people doing curls where they're swinging their body around and using a lot of momentum to lift the weight. Same thing for tricep push downs. You'll see a lot of people moving their shoulders and arms around and really just trying to force the weight down. If you keep your shoulders and your elbows locked in place when you're doing your curls and your push downs, and you're focusing on only bending at the elbow, you're gonna see a ton more growth that way. You're gonna be able to actually target the muscle way more effectively. And like I said earlier, focus on a smaller handful of exercises instead of trying to hammer your arms with a bunch of volume. If you're targeting the muscle the way that you need to and doing these exercises correctly, you're gonna feel a crazy pump. You're not gonna feel like you need more than 2 exercises for your biceps and triceps. So make sure that your form is solid and then push those really hard, and you'll probably get done with your arm workouts a lot faster because you won't be able to do anything else. Lastly, tip number 5 is going to be to take your performance seriously. I don't want you guys to get into the habit of just going to the gym and just cranking out a set of curls or whatever just to get a pump going, okay? You should have a pretty good pump in your arms from doing correct arm training, but you also want to take your performance seriously and make sure that you're tracking the weights that you're using and that you're seeing increases in your strength over time. Progressive overload is king here. No matter what exercise you're doing, you still want to see yourself getting stronger and lifting heavier over time while keeping that good form the same. I think a lot of people kind of get caught up in just coming in, cranking out a set, getting a pump, and then going home. You should take these performance metrics seriously, even though it's not something as exciting as your squat, bench, or deadlift, or whatever it is. But if you get stronger at your curls and your push downs, again, it doesn't really matter what the variation is. If you're getting a lot stronger and you're seeing increases in the weight that you're using, you know that your arms have got to be growing from that. All right guys, that's all I've got for you in today's video. If you found this video helpful and you want to see more like this, as well as exercise tutorials and workouts and stuff like that, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss out on the gains. And follow me on Instagram at Athletic Body Systems. And you guys have a great day. I'll catch you in the next video.